Greetings, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for joining, as always. I appreciate everything you guys do for the show. I appreciate all the feedback and the letters and the support. Mostly, I just appreciate you guys in now 98 countries tuning in and getting behind the whole badass Agile thing. Now, this week, I'll return to one of my favorite subjects, which is simplicity in Agile. I don't think there's anyone who would suggest that Agile should be more complex. We can all nod our heads up and down at the idea of keeping things simple. And in fact, when we talk about releasing to production or releasing finished work, you'll often hear the expression, make delivery a non-event. What we mean by that is, the greater the import that you place on release, the easier it is to make excuses about why you should do it less frequently. I'll say it again. The more import that you attach to releasing product, the easier it is to make excuses to do it less frequently. And that is definitely not the outcome we're after. So either we treat it less seriously and then we learn to do it more often, or we just do it more often and we learn to treat it less seriously. But you know what you never hear people talk about is treating Agile as a non-event. And I think it's an important conversation to have, because if you treat Agile that it's something that must be planned and scheduled and diagrammed and procedurized, then you're basically going to be able to make excuses that allow you to deliver it less frequently or later, to stall Agile action until you're more ready, more certain, more safe. And isn't that, in fact, anti-Agile? So one of the key mindsets that I want you to adopt this week and to bring to your customers is to remember that Agile should be a non-event. Agile is something that you simply do. It's a way of thinking and then a way of acting. It's mindset and habit pairs. Simple as that. When we treat agility like it's a big thing that must be studied and deeply understood and documented and analyzed, we're just giving ourselves reasons to put off acting in Agile ways. Now, am I suggesting that we shouldn't study it more deeply? Of course not. We should, but we should do that simultaneously while we implement, while we become and behave in ways that are more agile. The premises are simple, right? Spend the time you would spend documenting and mapping out your approach to implementing Agile and focus on the customer. Ask them, what are the outcomes you're looking for? What results are you trying to get? Why do you want to be Agile? Why do you exist as an organization? What do your customers value? What problems do you face? How can I make you better? Where do you struggle? What are your gaps? Where are your failures? Spend your time studying that. Because if you put off behaving in Agile ways until you finish that 450-page book on the perfect team room design, then not only have you delayed the start of Agile activity and Agile behavior and Agile mindset, but you've also opened the door to ask the question, what else should I know? What else must I be more certain of before we begin sprinting, before we make our first backlog? So when you get back with your teams and your customers this week, or before you start with a new one, write this on the whiteboard in big letters, Agile as non-event, as a reminder to us all that we need to expend our most valuable energies on being visionary, being focused, being flexible and humble, being gritty. So let's look at everything that contributes to the lead time before that first experiment, before that first sprint. If you have a 12-week sprint zero, guess what? You're screwing up. If you have a 2-week sprint zero but have recently invented the concept of a sprint -1, you're just putting off the inevitable. So what would happen this week if you put those words up on the board? Agile as non-event. And right underneath that, write down your first experiment. What is the first thing that you're going to try or test or do or build and deliver that moves you just a little bit closer, that inches the dial just a notch towards the value and the outcome that your customers most crave? Do me a favor, guys. Try it this week and let me know what it does for you. Get feedback from your team. Tell me how it works and tell me if it doesn't work. Tell me where you need help. share with the tribe what you learn from this experiment. Hey, as always, guys, you can reach out at badassagile.com. You can find me on Twitter at badass_agile and on Instagram at badassagile. Thank you, my friends, for being true believers. I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you next time. Until then, stay badass.